Okay, fam. What a victory. 1-0 over Watford. Three consecutive 1-0 victories. 3 for 3. Going into international break. We are, yes, believe it, we are atop of the league. Off to a great start. Not 9 full points. The only Premier League team that is perfect so far. And our evil rivals, scum, that is Arsenal, is at the bottom of the league. At the bottom of the league. We are at top, and Arsenal is at the bottom. Believe it, folks. Believe it. Oh, I'm buzzing. This is beautiful. Beautiful. I am enjoying this. Fam, I'm going to post the link on the comments so you can join in. So let me post the link on the chat. Right now, we don't have anybody watching, but as soon as you come on, if you want to have your say about the game, please come on in, join. You don't have to show your face, you could be on audio. Just come on and give your instant analysis reaction to the game. Um, so make sure that comment is on there and send a Twitter invite. Paste. Uh, yeah. All right. So if anybody wants to join, they can. They definitely can. Uh, all right. So, all right. Took care of business right there. So if anybody comes on in, they could give their instant analysis. So, all right. Um, First half, beginning of the game. Um, really thought, I honestly thought there would be a plethora of goals today. Bunch of goals today. That very first minute, there was a possible chance, and I'm just like, oh man, it's going to be a long day for Watford. But um, basically, they had everybody in the box throughout the game. It was really hard to break them down. Um, Basically, 10 men in the box, and so during the first half, there was a couple of questions of maybe, Bergwijn's been playing great, had some good runs, but maybe we needed a Lucas, someone who can go at them, especially because there were gaps. There were gaps there, and I was just thinking, oh, maybe Lucas or Brian Hill um, should be playing right now because those guys were playing very compact, and we need someone to um, at least break into that defense. Good game planning by Watford, um, and there was a little worry of let's just like, gosh, this is pretty hard to break these guys down. But then of course, Bergwijn had that great run and he got fouled, which set up a free kick by Sonny, and it was a beautiful goal. But there was a mistake by the goalie. I mean, the goalie should have really attacked that ball should really attack that ball. But so that goal, hey, we'll take it. We'll call it beautiful. But it was a goalie error. It was a goalie error, and so we take the lead. And I'm thinking, okay, well now this will open up the game, um, and we will get more goals. Uh, but I will say this: there wasn't a point in time that I honestly felt that Watford would get the equalizer. I felt this. I felt the same way against Manchester City. I felt the same way last week when we played against Wolves. And today definitely I felt it. It's something about this team this year that we will fight to the end. We will hold on to the lead. Um, rather than last year, as we dropped so many points and let so many equalizers come in, especially late. You know, like the West Ham game was one. And Fulham. Um, so it's this year. Call it what I mean. You could call it whatever you want. Maybe it's Nuno magic. Maybe it's more focus, more determination. Um, the defense is playing much better. Dyer and Sanchez. I've bashed these guys. I've bashed these guys, and um, I gotta give credit what credit is due. All right, we have brother Brian Daigle in the house. Brian, listen to this. We are at top of the league, and Arsenal is at the bottom. How rare does that? I mean, how does how rare does that happen?
So first of all, Mario, I just want to say thank God I finally made it onto your show. I've been
Yes.
trying, but obviously with whatever's been happening, I haven't been able to get on. Love watching the Love Lounge, but being a recovering alcoholic and watching you lot get drunk, I might be the voice of reason, and no channel needs that. No channel needs that.
I still
Um,
want you on. You can have a bottle of water.
yeah,
I'll say
I saw Colin drinking Dr. Thunder and everything, so maybe I will. But first of all, Cody Mack said something when we were on We Are Tottenham the pump up before. They said, you know what? Out of the whole 92 teams in the football league right now, if it was all one league, Arsenal would be bottom on goal difference, which is just the greatest stat of the year. Um, but I've just done a tweet on my personal Twitter saying Tottenham being top of the league during an international break, although it's early, just reminds me of the Lion King when Simba gets lifted up for the first time, and all the animals are like, "Oh, the king, the king!" Listen, it's very, very, very early, but what we've
yeah.
got to look at it, we have a brand new manager who came in late, has got 3 wins out of 3 without conceding a goal, without conceding a goal. And Dyer and Sanchez, if someone had said to you, including the Arsenal game in the pre-season friendly, which doesn't exist with Spurs Arsenal, 4 games, 4 wins, 4 clean sheets, without a fit Harry Kane, without a fit Romero, without all our transfer activity finished,
Toxic
it's,
too.
it's very, very positive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, even with the whole toxic, hurricane situation, you know, not having a coach for these I would have in June 29th, if you had told me that we will be at top of the league going into international break, I would have said, "What are you smoking? Are you lying to me?" And I'm just literally I'm enjoying this while while it lasts, because you know we're Spurs fans, we know,
Yep,
but I'm enjoying this. Hey, we could talk about transfers tomorrow. We could talk, criticize here and there, but to be on top, and as Harry Kane posted on Twitter, perfect way to start the year. 3 wins, 3 clean sheets, 9 points, 2 points clear ahead of everybody.
that's the big
I,
part.
I, I
That's the big
I'm
part. We are the only team with 100%.
yeah,
Normally in the Premiership, there's normally one or two at this stage that have got maximum points. And the very fact that we've done it, and there's something I really want to highlight with this, because if you watch the Liverpool Chelsea game afterwards, a lot of people were saying, do you know what? Chelsea are going to, if you're going to be the champions, you've got to go to places like Anfield and maybe take a point, and all these points add up. Now, if you look at these first three games of the season, against Man City, as Spurs fans, we all thought, you know what, we normally beat them at home. We've got a good record. We might get 3 points there. But a lot of teams would have said 1 or 0. Going away to Wolves, the first away game of the season, where Wolves is a very hostile place,
Oh
and the
yeah,
whole Nuno returning home, people may have thought a point. And if you look at that game, maybe Wolves may have been felt aggrieved that they didn't get a share of the spoils. And then Watford would have probably been the first game this season where fans outside of Tottenham would have said, you know what, this is going to be the game they get 3 points. But we're sitting here with 9. 9 points in the bank. We've got Crystal Palace next, who I always say, do you know what? Crystal Palace away is one of our hardest games of the season because of the atmosphere there, and we don't get a lot of points at Selhurst Park normally, like it showed last season under Jose. 1-0 up, we drew 1-all. It's a hard place to go, but
yeah,
going into this international break with 9 points in the bag is beyond our wildest dreams. And it's just, if Nuno doesn't get manager of the month, I think the only manager that rivals him is Brentford for going undefeated for manager of the month. If it's any other manager, then I don't know what the Premier League are thinking of. But fantastic from Nuno, unbelievable.
yeah. And there was a stat. This is the seventh time in history that we won our first three games, and the year we won it 60-61, we started off 3-0. So it's I even winning the first two games, I was like, I couldn't remember because usually we either win, then lose, or tie or lose. So it's a dream start. It's a dream start. Craig, welcome, Craig. Big up. He says,
Big up.
boys, great result considering that we didn't play that well. I will say this because Wolves basically had 10 men in the box for most of the game.
Watford.
Watford, yeah.
I keep
So
saying Wolves as well, Murray. That's why I
yeah,
realised you said it. Trust me.
yeah, Watford. Um, though Bergvine, like I said, I watch him off the ball, great runs. I was just thinking more of in the first half, and correct me if I'm wrong. There were some gaps, and I was thinking that maybe Lucas could have been it could have started because he would have really attacked those gaps, attacked the players, uh, along with like Brian Gill, to kind of attack, to kind of break down the defense because they were just playing basically all 10 men in the box in their half of the field, and I felt like we needed someone to break it down. But we did okay for a team that's playing like that. That's basically parking the bus. That's what I felt. I mean, did you see it the same way, Brian? That
So,
first
so
half?
what I've got to say about this, and I said it on streams that I was on earlier. Harry Kane does not fit the 4-3-3. Harry Kane isn't fully fit and hasn't played with the team regularly. So that showed today with him there and not having Lucas, Bergwijn, and Son, the movement and the pace that had been generated up front. We kind of lost a bit of that with Harry Kane being in there, not Lucas. And Harry Kane will adjust. Don't get me wrong. We'll come back off the international break, and he'll go flying. And I've got no doubt about that. But Lucas Moura, who I said at the beginning of the season, I think is going to be our player of the season. I'm that confident. You saw in the second half when he came on that run that he did to set up Kane, and
Yeah,
I mean that just shows what the defense. This defense needed pace being run at it constantly,
yeah,
and Lucas Moura is a huge. Not only does he give the huge work rate, but he's got that, and it looks like he's worked on his end product because that was the perfect ball. It just obviously got the deflection or got whatever it did.
yeah,
But yeah, I think Harry Kane definitely had a reason why we weren't as fluid in the first half, and that's understandable
yeah,
because he doesn't offer you what Lucas Moura does, which is pace and running directly. But what I have been impressed about, and I cannot pick this up, especially for the limited time he's had, is Nuno with our fitness.
yeah,
We have looked fit for 1995, whatever it is. We have looked like I wouldn't say peak Poch, but Poch-esque fitness because it was gone during the Mourinho era. It was gone.
yeah,
And that is the most. And I've said it as well. I am loving. I've never seen any other Premiership team do it. I don't know if Nuno did this at Wolves, but when you see the first team come out 5 minutes before the end of the half and start warming up again, I think it's absolutely incredible because You're keeping those muscles alive. You're not just coming in from like sitting down, and it's just showing how much he believes in fitness. And
Yeah,
I think it's an incredible thing. And the thing we've got to take away from it, like Craig said, that we may not have played well, but we have looked fit and ready to fight for the full 90 minutes, and that's had
yeah,
a huge difference.
yeah. That's what I said, and that's the difference between last year. Last year we lose these 1-0 games. We let the
Yep,
teams equalize. We dropped so many points. We led the league. I forget what's the number for most drop points for having the lead. If we had
21
held,
points.
if we had held on, not only would have been top four, we would at least challenge for the title. This year, for some reason, I'm not as worried. I didn't really think City was going to score. I didn't think Wolves was going to score, and definitely today, I didn't think they were going to equalize. I mean, I wanted more goals, but I didn't think they were going to equalize. I mean, did you have that same feeling? I mean, literally, I didn't think.
Well, this is what you got to remember as well. Um, we go on about losing 1-0s. This time last year, we were 3-0 up against West Ham.
Yeah.
You look at the Newcastle game at the back end of the season when it was 2-2, I believe, or 1 or whatever it was. Again, it came down to fitness. And
Fulham
what
too.
we're doing right now, it's not only just the fitness. You can see the team once again are fighting for each other, and you've got to look at people like Sergio Reguilon, who came back and intercepted Sarr when Dele Alli gave a pass away.
Yeah.
We're getting the best out of Reguilon now because he's been allowed to go forwards, and this is where Sergio is going to have his and Tanganga. These players are
Oh,
going forwards, but the thing is as well,
amazing.
they are working together as a team. It's not a split. It's not a split. We've really combined to work as a team. And I used to love when Harry Kane used to score a hat trick, and the post game team interviewers would go, "Harry Kane, what a player!" What and they go, "Listen, yeah, Harry Kane hat trick. He's a great striker, but if it weren't for the team creating those chances, and this is what Nuno's doing. He is uniting the team completely, and it's just wonderful." And on that note, Mari, I'm gonna have to go because I have to jump on We Are Tottenham TV.
Yep.
But Mari, listen, any show you've got my WhatsApp, you've got my number, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I will.
Just
I'll jump
WhatsApp,
on.
WhatsApp me, mate, and I'll always appear whenever you need me, buddy.
Okay, and yeah, definitely too. Because I'm always looking for the stream invite because I am available, especially on Friday nights. And so I'm like, yeah, I could jump on and
So
jump
we're
on
not
in.
doing it for the international break, the two Brians, but how about the one before Crystal Palace? You come on from the beginning with us.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely, I could definitely do that.
Do you know
And
what? I've seen this guy before.
I was
I
gonna
think
say,
I
long time no
I
see,
was just
Brian.
on Eugene with him. So what a
Chris.
great substitute. I was just doing my goodbye, Scott. So
Well,
from one person in Canada, the dream sub, the super sub
there we go.
is coming on now. So listen, you can find me on Tottenham on tour. Levy out. And Mari, thank you so much for having me on, brother.
Thank you, Dago. Thank you so
Anytime,
much.
brother.
All right, what a substitution. We got
There we
Mr.
go.
Scott in the house. Scott, we're top of the league. Arsenal's on the bottom. Oh man, we got Mr. Josh. Oh, this is our first time. We got Mr. Josh also in the house. Top of the league. Arsenal down in the pits. Man, take a picture of this because this is a rare Haley's Comet moment. I'll start with gosh, I'm so excited that start with Scott first.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not be a rare occurrence with the way they're going. They could be down there for a while, and we could be up top. Keep going. Be a new thing for us all season long. Just keep maintaining it. But it feels pretty good. I've been, I don't know if you've seen me and Bob kind of going back and forth last week about how well we had played over the last two games. I was a little bit more down on it, but today, I was pretty excited. I was glad to see that we were able to retain possession a lot more. I know it's Watford, so obviously take that into consideration. But we kind of looked a little different than we had in the other games. We weren't just doing the same things, and we showed a little bit of progression in this game, and seemed like a pretty comfortable win for us, which is great to see.
Okay. AKA Mr. Josh, Spurs debate. First time. Brother, how are you feeling?
Mate, look, you know what? 3-1 nils, 3 clean sheets and 3 points. 9 points now. Look, we can't ask for more than this, right? There's no better start to the season than what we've had, right? Obviously, Man City are banging them in. Different league in a way, the way they play football. Nuno's new. Nuno needs time. There's been a lot of ins and outs. There's a lot of transition. And I think we just need to give him time. A lot of fans saying we're not playing well, we're getting away with it, we're nicking a goal, obviously, in every game. But mate, I'm just happy that we've had this start with the points. We've had clean sheets with Dyer and Sanchez, which, let's be honest, a lot of people saw those names against Man City and dreaded a 3-0 or a high scoring game. Against Wolves, we defended and defended and defended. We blocked and blocked and blocked. We tried and tried and tried, and we got the goal. Today was a bit more mixed. We had a bit more control, a bit more aggression, a lot more shots on target, and we deserved the win. We definitely deserved the win today. That's for sure. There's no debate on that.
Yeah.
Maybe some fans will say we deserved a draw. Some Tottenham fans, if you're being pessimistic, but I think we deserved the win on that. We were knocking on the door, and we were quite solid at the back. Apart from Sar's chance in the second half, which I thought was going to go in, there wasn't that many major chances in the second half. So look, we're here, deservedly or not deservedly, is each man's opinion to himself. I think we're here on a little bit of luck as well. But you ride your luck in the Premier League. You ride your luck. Yes, we haven't banged in goals left, right, and center. Yes, we haven't created lots of chances. Yes, we rode our luck at the back a little bit. But listen, you tell me one team that just wins and wins and wins without having a bit of luck. So, let's just hope we don't run out of luck and we make our own luck going into the next few games. We've got difficult games coming up, so we'll see what we're really made of soon. But for now, enjoy it, embrace it. But it's only 3 games, and I'm the kind of Spurs fan where I look at the first 7 or 8 games of the season before I judge anything. So still very early days, mate.
Yeah. No, totally
I was
agree.
one of those fans that were kind of saying that, Josh, like you said, we were lucky to nick it, or we weren't. But you know what? After 3 games, 9 points, like these are the kind of games that for me I saw from the past 2 years, Liverpool, where I'm like, these guys look like crap today, but they always manage to get it over. And the teams, I think, when you get to that top 4, you win games like this. And these are games that we weren't winning, right? How many times in the past 2 years have we lost games like this?
Last year.
We've never had a problem necessarily scoring goals. If you look at last season, we with Kane, Son, with Ali back in, Tanguy, let's see what happens. We've got firepower. The problem has been the back. The problem has been losing leads, holding leads, and making stupid mistakes, right? Individual mistakes, making the wrong decisions. The biggest plus out of these first 3 games is the pair at the back. Regulon, you're going to get 6s and 7s, maybe an 8. Tanganga's been brilliant at right back. A revelation, right? He's slotted right into that. But Dyer and Sanchez, and in particular Sanchez, I mean, Nuno has drilled them. And it looks like he's gone in and said, look, we haven't got the money to spend on another world-class centre-back, i.e. Romero. And what he's done with those 2, I mean, listen, hats off to the guy. That's not luck. That's man management. That's training. That's making them focus 95 minutes. And that has been the biggest plus, because we haven't scored many goals. And I know Spurs, we always have goals in us. But those 2 at the back, plus Lloris, who's been outstanding, that trio, I don't think that's luck, man. I don't think you can ride your luck for 300 odd minutes or whatever it is and not leak a goal. So hats off to those 2 and Nuno, man.
Let me say a couple of highs. Chris says, "Coys, good results." Ricky, big up Ricky and Chris. Afternoon all, top of the league, lovely jubbly. Wayne also says, fell asleep in the first half. How we do? We won. And Bob Spur TV, he had a work conference. He really tried to watch this game. So he said, missed the game completely. But it doesn't matter. We're at top of the league. Can't see Arsenal without scrolling down on my phone. Trust the process. And now we have Eugene, who is in the house. Before Eugene starts, I totally agree with what Josh just said in regards to how we've started. Like I said, this is only the seventh time we've won our first three games. The seventh time we've won our first three games, and we'll take it. We'll take it. This is a bit of a more disciplined team. Sonny's goal was a goalie error. You know, the goalie should attack the ball. But like I said, we'll take it. Liverpool got it the year they won. There were games that we were like, oh, they should have dropped points this game, and they got it. Leicester, you know. So who knows? We got work to do with the transfer market, but soak it in. Have a pint of beer, have a drink of wine, enjoy this moment, enjoy it, and after 8 games, 9 games, we'll see where we're at, or water, and enjoy it. Eugene,
Vodka.
what vodka, or Jack Daniels. But Eugene, what did you think of today's game? How you feeling? I mean, we're top of the league, and Arsenal is crap. They're in the bottom.
Mhm. Yeah. For me at the moment, I won't even look at Arsenal. Right, they're so far down. Not a worry at the moment. For me, is that at the moment we enjoy where we are, savor the moment. Okay,
Yeah.
because it's gonna get hairy very soon. Because Crystal Palace is not going to be easy. Chelsea, we know it's not going to be easy. But of course, let's hope Arteta is still at Arsenal when we play them.
Trust the
Right?
process.
Yeah, trust the process. And Josh, nice to meet you. First time in the same.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yes, first time.
First time in the
Everyone.
same. Yeah, first time. Yeah.
Nice
Right,
to meet the whole family, man. All of you
yeah,
guys in
yeah,
the comments.
and always on Twitter, right? But it's good to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, but
Sure.
I've seen you around. And to tell you, Josh, you were the one, right, who linked me because I'm doing this Persuasion TV, right, the Asian side of it, who gave me the idea to link up with the India Spurs people, right? And
All
now
right.
they're a big supporter of my channel now. A lot of them
Wicked.
come on and off, right?
Brilliant.
But it's a very weird thing about India Spurs. They break up into factions. They got Goa Spurs,
Yeah,
Kolkata
franchise.
Spurs, yeah. So, but it's fun. I've got most of the Goa Spurs, Kolkata Spurs, and Bangalore Spurs boys.
Yeah.
Bangalore Spurs boys with me, right?
That's
So
what
it's a
Indians
good
do, man. We find a
yeah,
little corner or something. We build a new shop. That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, I've got one guy called Saikat, and he's initiated the Spursvision midweek show. I think now I've inspired him to start his own Kolkata Spurs YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's how they build it up from there. We'll give them the support, right? Because I keep telling them, whatever you do, right, I will bridge you the support that you need, right? So, and for the game, Kirian, no,
Yep, it's
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
my gosh,
How's
Kirian,
it
what happened to your
going?
hair?
What's up?
What's
You're
up?
celebrating.
Oh.
You're celebrating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was good. Here, let me.
Yeah, haven't seen you in a long time. Have you settled your internet issues?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're back in business. So
All right,
just
that's
need a
good.
couple
That's
more
good.
things, and we should be
Yeah.
good to go. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay, back to the game. Love it. We're top 3-0. No goal scored against either. But of course, being Spurs fans, right? We always want to see more goals go in. But
Yeah.
I'll still take it at this whatever we are now. And the transfer window is closing very, very, very soon. Let's hope Paratici does something and bring us the players we need, right?
Yeah.
To actually push us to the next level. That's what I'm hoping for, right? Even if he
Yeah.
doesn't, I will still give the trust to Nono to build the team that we have. Okay, right? He's done a good job, and another part is that let's hope Tanguy and Ndombele, if he gets sold or goes on loan, he goes on loan. If he still stays with us, let's hope Nuno can turn him around, right, and show him we are doing something now. Okay, we are doing something now, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Happy, right? But being a Spurs fan for 40 over years, there's always that but there. All right.
Yeah.
There's always that but there. Right. But
Yeah.
still enjoy that moment. Savor it, guys. Savor it. And be positive for the players, be positive for the manager, but it's still Levy out.
Kyrian, how are you feeling? Are you buzzing? I said, how are you feeling right now?
You talking to me? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm feeling great, man. I mean, I think I agree with everything Eugene said, but I think at the same time, regardless of what happens from here on out, what we have to realize is 3 games to start the Premier League season, 3 wins, no goals conceded, 3 clean sheets. I mean, that's it's historic, and you got to give it to Nuno. What a fantastic start to the season. Couldn't ask for much better. Obviously we got a few big games coming up soon. Chelsea and the Scum. So we got
Crystal
to get the
Palace. At
yeah we
Crystal
got to
Palace too.
yeah, Crystal Palace. Yeah, we got to get the points from those. Those are important, but every game's important in the Premier League. I think you just got to be happy with what Nuno has been able to accomplish. I don't think we're anywhere close to the finished product of what this team will be when we have all the players in, when Nuno has had time to work in his ideas for what he wants to do tactically, and the players have had game time to practice them and be comfortable within his tactics. But we're getting there, and couldn't have had a better start.
Wayne, big up Wayne. He says, "Wait a minute. I wonder where Arsenal are." Yeah. I spoke with Brian Daigle, and June 29th, right? Let's go back to June 29th. We still officially didn't have a coach, though it was pretty much, or it's going to be Nuno. Officially, Patici didn't start, because he starts in July 1st. If you would have told me, what's today? Today's Sunday, August 29th, that we, despite the whole hurricane situation, you know, despite getting a coach in, despite still having some transfer needs, and getting Romero late, so he hasn't really played in the Premier League, Kane plays his first Premier League game today. If you had told me that we will go perfect, be 2 points clear on top of the league, Sanchez and Dyer and that whole back line have clean sheets and include their Arsenal, because trust me, whenever we play Arsenal, preseason or not, it's serious. I would have told you, what are you smoking, or you're lying. I would have told you, no, no, bro. Not. I would have been like, okay, we'll probably, if we're lucky, maybe have 6 points or 4 points coming into the international break. I'm in total awe of what's going on, and I echo what Josh has said about Dyer and Sanchez, because we're like kind of waiting for them to implode, but these guys are playing discipline, kind of like what what Nuno has done to Connor Cody's career. I mean, guys, would you have believed this on June 29th of where we are right now? And like I said, so off to a good start. We know there's going to be some bumps, but no one could have predicted this.
No.
I probably would have taken 4 points, honestly, at that point. If you would have said we would get 4 points, lost to City, beat Wartford in a draw with Wolves, I would probably have been happy with it at that point. So to see it now, 9 points, I mean, I don't know if anybody, I know that a lot of people right before the season were saying we'd beat City, but back then, I don't think there's any way to think that any reason to think that we'd beat City. We were in such a bad spot at that time. So it's great to see it. With Josh saying about Dyer and Sanchez in the defense, I kind of mentioned it earlier on Eugene's channel. Is it the whole team looks so much more calm. So yeah, those mistakes are certainly there, but instead we don't seem to be putting them in there. Everybody seems to have a much better idea of what to do and sort of stay right with what they're supposed to do rather than running out of position. I mean, how many times have we seen Sanchez and Dyer just watch as somebody standing next to them is scoring, right? Or watch, and we've cut out so much of that. The team looks so much more in control, in calm, and it's been great to see.
I think normally, well, not normally, but last season we'll be 1-0 up at the 75th minute, and we'd start to retreat, and that mid block would become a low block. We'd invite pressure, and then teams would score for set piece or some kind of stupid goal. Right, one of the defenders would make a mistake, whether it's Sanchez, whether it's whoever it was, and I felt like the 75th minute, I'm looking at this team thinking, right, here we go. Are we going to show those past demons of sitting back and retreating? Well, we didn't. We kept that mid block fairly middle. We dropped a little bit, but not majorly from the first half, and we protected that lead pretty safely, apart from a couple of chances. Everyone was running back. Delhi put in a shift. Really impressed with what Delhi was doing. Skip First half wasn't great. Second half, he just got into the game and he was passing the ball better. Couple of, risky challenges. Obviously, he got his yellow. Maybe took one for the team, you could say. But it just seems like there's balance. I think the flanks with Sarr gave Reggie a lot of problems, but I think Sarr will give most left backs problems this season. And I think Tanganga had some iffy moments as well. But on the whole, the sort of spine, the spine delivered. So from Lloris to the centre backs, Højbjerg was brilliant. Skip, like I said, grew into the game. And then Delhi was protecting those two as much as he could, was running around, getting involved. And I think Delhi's grown into a man now. He's realised the flicks and tricks and getting assists and goals is not as important as defending and working hard for your teammates. And it's so good to see Delhi get that balance in his game, where he's now willing to do the dirty work and not just do the glamorous stuff. So I think Nuno's got that spine pretty straight, and we're playing this mid-block, trying to attack teams on the flanks through Son, through Bergwijn, through Mora, and it's a little bit Jose, but it's not as Jose of what we've seen, which is completely sit back and take 15 attempts. And that's the key difference between a lot of people saying Nuno's like Jose. He's not. He's a little bit more offensive. And he's not allowing the team to step too far back. And for me, that's really important, because if you're at home and you're 1-0 up, you shouldn't be inviting a team like Watford to come onto you too much. You should have the balls to play the game in the middle of the park and not retreat. Yeah, exactly. And the other big thing about Nuno, which I think Jose maybe lacked, is that I don't think he's as ruthless with holding out players for mistakes as much as maybe Jose's ruthless side is. Jose will tell you when you're crap, and he'll expect you to react and be a full-blown man and come back and show him. But these guys, some of them are still young. You look at players like Tanganga, they need positivity, they need development. They don't need to be told in the public press that they're not right backs or centre backs or whatever it is. So I think Nuno's got a feel-good factor in the club where players can express themselves, make a mistake, and not feel like at full time they're going to be, publicly or privately in front of their teammates, shown up. So I think that man management we're starting to see the confidence in those players with wanting to take a bit of a risk and happy to have the odd average performance, but feel like I'll go again next week. So I think this is all coming together, guys. And we haven't smashed in goals, of course we haven't. And 3 goals, 3 1-0s. You take the points at this stage of the season. Kane wasn't great today either. But again, Harry Kane's one of those players, man. He's just a difficult one. You've got to keep him on the pitch, because the left and right foot and his header, it's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult one with Kane. I felt to pull him off around the 75th minute, bring on Gio, kind of secure it a bit. But then he had those 2 chances. He had the one where you should have tapped it in, but the defender got the touch. You can't blame Kane. In real time, you can't adjust to that. And then obviously you remember the corner where he got the shot low and hard. And how many times have we seen those deflect and go in from a Kane goal? So Nuno got all his decisions right. I don't think anyone can criticize Nuno for any decisions. I think he pretty much got it spot on. And the best decision was selling Sissoko, because we see what he did. You got the mixed bag. You got the guy that runs in and crosses, and you got the guy who gets a yellow or skies it into row X. So amazing, really good to see it.
Yeah, that's true. Right. And if for me, right, prediction of the first 3 games, most probably I will we drew M City, and if we could have won at Wolves, and of course we beat Wartford, right, it would be a 7 points, if not a 5 to 7 points ratio. But getting 9, of course, is very, very good. Okay. And like what Josh is saying is very true. I think Nuno has become what I call a manager of a human being. You treat your players like a human being first, right? Not just as a player or a professional tool as a manager, right? To be more compassionate to what the players are feeling, of course, because don't forget, every little mistake last season that when, Jose came out and humiliated the players in front of the press or in private or whatever, the fan base jumped on it, right? And the fan base added more pressure onto the players, then it makes them mentally weaker. So what Nuno has done now, right? Maybe he's put a shield up, right? Clean sheet, I'll give it to you. That's why you see what is happening to Tanguy, right? In a lot of the Tottenham training videos, you see Tanguy is there. Tanguy looks fit, and Tanguy is doing all, and then he's laughing and he's happy with his teammates, right? If Tanguy was like sulking and not wanting to play for the club, right, he won't be at training, right? He most probably won't be putting 100%. He won't be laughing and playing with, having a jovial time with his teammates. He'll be sulking. We'll see the face. You know. But unless he's such a good actor, we do not know that. Okay, that's hard to say too, right? But in the end of the day, whatever happens, like I said, right, the results we've gotten, we deserved it. We fought for it tooth and nail, right? Even when we were 1-0 up, when we were against M City, even M City, during the second half, we were the more threatening team, correct?
Yeah.
But we were stifling them in defense. They didn't know what to do. But maybe because it was the first game, they were playing with Grealish, they didn't get their groove in and all that, and we took advantage of that. So that's kudos to Nuno. And at Wolves, we fought and protected what we had to protect. And like today, if we were lucky today, right, it could have been easily a 3-0 scoreline. Delhi missed the sitter coming in from running deep, right? If he put that in, right, everybody would have gone crazy, right? Dele Ali scoring, but he didn't. But all our weakness, we covered up with teamwork. So even like today, if I ask you guys who was the man of the match, it's very hard to pick up one man of the match. So to tell the truth, today's man of the match, right? Who is it? I think it's Nuno. That's all. Like Mr. K said during my stream, right? Mr. K said today's man of the match is Nuno. Right?
I'd say Arteta, but yeah.
George, you're being wicked,
Sorry,
George.
man of the weekend.
Josh,
Man of the weekend.
you're being wicked, Josh. Right, but big up to Nuno, right? In Nuno we trust. We should give him the credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with so much of what's been said. I mean, I think Josh really hit the nail on the head with just analyzing the differences tactically between Nuno and Jose and how that's impacted the team. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that even Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez don't look so bad when you're not playing Stone Age, anti-football, Brexit football, whatever you want to call it, where you just drop all the way back, invite all the pressure, just make your center backs head out cross after cross after cross. Yeah, if you actually give the guys some time in the match where they're not completely under the cosh, they can actually think a little bit. They can use their brains, and they don't make as many mistakes because they're not completely exhausted and running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Yeah, I mean, and like Eugene said, we use teamwork to cover up our weaknesses, and that really has come from Nuno in the form of a midfield that is just a workhorse midfield between Dele, Skip, and Højbjerg, just fighting for every 50-50, for every ball, going in, crunching tackles, letting the opposition know they're there, making the opposition want to go around the outside because they don't want to come through that midfield. That makes it so much easier. It makes your life so much easier as a defender. It's just really nice to see that Nuno has got us pressing from the front, just absolutely going balls to the wall in the midfield, and then solid at the back. And it's just this is how you should do it. This is how you should set up your team to defend effectively, not just soak up all of the pressure that you allow the opposition to put on you. That's just not the right way to go about it. That's not modern football.
No.
So I think it's been a massive improvement. I also agree with what Eugene said about Nuno kind of creating a barrier around his players. He's like, listen, you're my guys. This is our team. We're here for each other. We're all working together to achieve something. Everything outside of this doesn't matter. So the Harry Kane stuff, whatever's in the press, whatever, the transfer market, none of that inside that building at Hotspur Way, there's none of that. There's only the team and what we're trying to achieve as a team. And it's good to have a manager with that kind of mentality back at the club. And I think it'll only be a positive thing going forward. And Nuno we trust.
When Dago was here earlier, I was telling him, the first half, they were very compact, but there were spaces. There were compact spaces. In our midfield, I would like to get a creative. Oh, Aaron's in the house. Oh, I always gotta give love for Aaron. My man, Aaron. Because I'm like Bergwijn. I thought played good, played solid. With Lucas, it would have been nice for him be in the first half because he would have attacked those compact spaces. And what we liked about Brian Hill the other day, him when he went into the middle, attacking those compact spaces. So I'm thinking transfer wise, we would love to have someone like Oriar, someone that would attack, you know, those spaces. But I will say this about I think that's the one thing our midfield's lacking. But our midfield's playing so great. I said this yesterday. And I said this about a team that we hate, Chelsea, in that what really helps Rudiger. I don't think Rudiger is the greatest defender in the world. Some of the guys that they have back there, Christensen has been playing better because of Tuchel. But I think having Conte and Jorginho in that midfield makes that back line for Chelsea so much way better. Now look at us with Hoiberg and Skip. Hoiberg and Skip, they are helping Dyer and Sanchez be so much better because of their play. Now, Skip has had a couple of his hiccups, but he's young. He almost had a kind of like a penalty that Wolves game in that first half. And today he had really a bad foul. The guy, got the guy's name, got behind him, and he had a real bad foul. But overall, they're playing what Jorginho and Conte is for Chelsea. Hoiberg and Skip has been for us, for our defense, and I think that's another big part of why Dyer and Sanchez are playing great because of what's in front of them with Hoiberg and Skip playing tremendous now, and Delhi's playing great too. It's just that now our midfield needs a little bit more creativity, someone that could break the compact, break the press rather than pinging it, and someone who can attack um, those spaces, because that's the only thing I feel that we're lacking. But overall, I don't care. We've got the 3 points. We're on top of the league, and Arsenal's on the bottom. I'm gonna soak it all in, have a pint later on, and so any comments on what I just said, or am I being too picky, being too
No, I think I'll say this. I haven't been as impressed with Delhi as it seems a lot of people have. I really like his effort. I give him full marks. He's trying hard. I think he's doing probably what he's been asked to, but I think he's getting a lot of credit for working harder than he has in the past. And I think that we need more out of, especially if we're playing Skip and Hoiberg, we need a lot more out of that third midfield in terms of moving the ball, creativity, and stuff like that. I think Delhi has shown that he should have a role in the team, which in the summer I wasn't sure that I felt that way. But I think that we need, like you said, the more creativity, somebody who can be more reliable on the ball. I think I understand. Like I think it's worked out well having these three hardworking midfield, especially Nuno coming in with everything going on. I think it's been great for him to solidify the team and allow him to get us going at the start of the year. But now I think as the season goes on, if we really want to push on, we're going to need to improve that third midfielder, assuming that we're going with Hoiberg and Skip as two of the midfielders.
Yeah.
Ricky Aaron says missing a little creativity today, but it's not easy playing against a Wolves team. It was very compact. That defense, all out defense under Jose, we would have lost that or drawn. We got something to build on, and it's kind of the same thing. Craig is saying still counter attacking. We got a little. We got a more solid base with Skip to push on from, and Delhi Cam actually go box to box now. And then not a good game to watch still. Um, you know, like I said, it's we're happy we got the victory, and I think like with Delhi, right? Because if we want to stick with Skip and let's say we skip with Skip and Hoiberg as our CDMs, we're going to expect more from Dele Ali and more in regards to creativity. Now, Nam Dembele, it looks like he may not be off. He may not be out of our team. So, is there a possibility Nam Dembele becomes a new signing? Maybe he's like, all right, I'm going to stay. I mean, I doubt it, but I'm going to stay. I'm going to have to fight for my position. Because if he can be in there with Skip and Hoiberg, and we know the ability of Tanguy to break down defenses, to break the press, because we need at least one person that can dribble, break through that press, break through compact defenses that Watford was doing today. It would help. It would. I mean, it would greatly, greatly help. I think. But the problem is Dembele is on the bench. Aaron says, such a shame Dembele is an asshole. But he could be the key if he gets his head right. 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. If Dembele can get his head right, man, and put him in with Skip, and I mean, he does things that Dele cannot do in regards to creativity.
I mean,
And
he
so,
does things that most players can't do. Most players in the world can't do. And if anybody knows me, they know I'm like Bob. I think that shout out Bob Spur TV, by the way. I think that Ndombele, if he got his mentality right, could be one of the best midfielders in world football. I think he's that good. His innate talent is remarkable. It's just, can he get his mentality straight and put in the work that's necessary to get him to that level? And with all the precedent we have so far, it says no. It says he can't do that because he hasn't done it since he's gotten here. And I would love to see him. Nobody more than me would love to see him reach that level, but I can't have faith in him when he hasn't shown me anything to suggest that he's actually going to follow through. And it's it's sad, but I think it might be a good idea to try and move him on if we can. People there was some link, I don't know how true this was, but possibility of a swap deal for Weston McKennie at Juventus. I'm a huge fan of Weston McKennie, obviously as an American, but also because he's actually a really good player. My only problem with that would be that we're exchanging a pretty creative midfielder for another workhorse because he's a lot closer to a Højbjerg than an Ndombele and or a Gio Lo Celso. And I think we need a more creative player if we're going to move on Ndombele. But I mean, Mari, I agree. If he can, do what seems impossible for him and get his mentality right, yeah, he could boss that midfield. We've seen him do it, So.
Yeah, like I was, earlier in my stream, we were talking about it, Scott, right? About Ndombele, right? And Aurier. And they were saying one of the comments during my stream is that if we got rid of Aurier, then maybe Ndombele's mentality will change a bit because he most probably last one left behind, and he will have to show his proof. But to me, is that in the end of the day, like I said, in Nuno we trust, right? If Nuno feels Ndombele is ready to play, right, he will play him. So if Nuno feels that he's not ready to play, right, he won't play him because Nuno is the only one who will really know what level Ndombele is in his fitness and his mentality. That's it. And sad to say, if we can't ship him out this transfer window, for all we know, he might be stuck 6 months before maybe the January transfer window come around. That's when he moves on. But now, like I said, in Nuno we trust. Maybe sometime along the way, maybe Ndombele will just think that, okay, I'm a footballer, right? I'm not going to sit with the under 23s and watch them play all the time or play with the under 23s. I'm paid 200 grand a week, right? And wake up to see that, okay, even though if to a certain extent, come on, the World Cup is coming up. Don't you think Ndombele wants to be on that team? Unless he doesn't want to, right? Even Sissoko got picked over him. So I guess, that might be his motive to have a change of mind and give it all, even for 1 year for Spurs, give it all, prove yourself, you are good enough. Actually, talent-wise, you're good enough to be at the World Cup, but because you don't have regular playtime with the first team in the Premier League, right? Because the Premier League is the best league in the world, the hardest league in the world, right? If you prove yourself there, I'm sure the Shams will pick him, right?
But Eugene, I mean, I don't think he cares about playing for France because if he did, he wouldn't want to go back to play in France in Ligue 1, which is now the 6th ranked European league based on the
No,
coefficient.
but the problem is that it's not going where to play. It's just playing. You get what I'm saying? Playing in the country top of your league, right, will prove that you are at a certain level that you deserve to be picked if you perform well. Don't you think so? But of course,
No,
you don't go and play in the Kazakhstan league and be on the number one and the top scorer. Of
Yeah.
course, then you get looked behind, far behind. Okay, but you're talking is within Europe. Let's say whether it's the Italian league, the French league, Premier League, Bundesliga, right, Serie A. You'll be there to be picked. I mean, as a coach, if you're performing at the highest level in the country, in the league that you're at, right, you will be in the mind of the coach. If I'm not mistaken, you should be in the mind of the coach. Yeah.
Some players are better suited in Spain because of the style of play. I think Tanguy would be a hit in Spain, Madrid. You know, one of these teams that play this kind of football where it's a little bit more easy on the eye. The Premier League rips you to shreds. Right from the minute one. You saw how Watford came out today in the first half, right through to the end. What would Tanguy have done in that game? He would have got to the 67th minute. And he started to shrug his shoulders, head drops. Body language gives you all the clues in the world you need about the way someone's feeling. And you can't fake that over a season. And we saw last season, the languid kind of style. We saw that with Delhi in the last couple of seasons. Delhi is now doing what, we need him to do, which is not be selfish and to play for the team. The amount of times I've seen Delhi in the last 3 games double up with one of the players around him to try and get a tackle in, or help his teammate, get him out of a situation. Tanguy, you don't pass to him, shrugs his shoulders. Sometimes he loses the ball, doesn't run back and tackle back. And for me, that's not a team player. And we're not in a luxury to have one bad apple. Maybe Man City can do it, maybe Chelsea can do it. They can have a bad apple and win a game. We can't, because let's be honest, guys, we're still in development. We're still in transition. We're not the finished article. We might be in a couple of years, who knows, if we keep our best players. But we're still in this huge transition. So to have players that don't want to give it 100%, unfortunately, we can't carry these luxury players. We just can't carry. We're not in a position to do that. So it comes back to what Poch, Jose, and now Nuno have done, including Mason, which is drop him, not start him, because he's not the kind of character that will G up his teammates. He's not the kind of character when you go 1-0 down, whether it's Watford at home, Palace away, that's going to G up his teammates and say, let's go. He's the kind of player that might give you 65 minutes. But in a situation where you need men and characters, I'm not sure Tanguy's got that leader in him. I think he's more of a, I'll have a bit of fun and do what I can, score a goal, make an assist. But when you need someone to just absolutely give it their 100% without getting a goal or an assist and playing the ugliest game of football just to get the points for the team, I don't think he's that. Delhi is struggling in his new role. He's struggling with this defensive thing. He doesn't probably enjoy it as much as being Delhi, the guy who came in there in the 70th minute. Delhi ghosts into the box. That's one of his biggest qualities. He can just ghost in and read the move. And he did that today, but he missed. It's fine. On another day, that will be a great goal for the weekend, if you put that away. But with Tanguy, I'm not seeing enough. I've not seen enough. And for that reason, regardless of his quality, the first thing that must come is the character. And Alex Ferguson was the biggest on it. If your character's not Man United, you're out. And we have to take these on the chin, whether it's Beckham, Yapstam, whoever it was, the quality was there, but the character wasn't. And it's a painful one, because we enjoyed some of the things Tanguy did last season. Some of those goals and turns and those nutmegs and getting out of positions, unbelievable. But I think, like you guys just said, we've got to trust that the managers know this character is not a team player. And sometimes in life, you might have a pretty girlfriend, but she's not a team player. You got to get rid of her. Same thing with Tanguy.
Yeah.
Beautiful on the eye, but not,
she's
not
bad for you.
Yeah, she's not a soldier. When it comes to war, they don't want blood, sweat, and tears. And see you later, man. What can we do? It's just we can't carry passengers.
I think that's a nice difference of having Nuno, right, compared to Jose, because like you said, you have to trust the manager. I think under Jose, we weren't sure, right? We thought maybe Jose's trying to play mind games with somebody, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think now with Nuno, we don't think that he's playing mind games, right? We think that this is a problem with Ndombele, and we trust him that he's sitting him out for the right reasons. and it's
Yeah.
a nice change that we're not
Think
worried about
about this, right?
what's actually behind the move.
Think about this. If Jose last week was asked the same question, why is Nuno not in the squad? Why is he not even traveling? He would have had a completely different reply to what Nuno said. Nuno generally, stared that question. He didn't go singular. He didn't go subjective. He kept it objective. He just goes, it is what it is. This is what we've chosen. Jose, if he's asked that question, 1 out of 3 times he'll take a dig at the player, you know. And that's the big difference between these two, man. And I know the guy's got an ego and he's got a great CV and he's won every trophy that is under the sun. But when you come to Spurs, you can't bring that. You've got to do what Nuno and Poch have done, which is be part of the team. And I'm just glad that these players are responding to Nuno's man management, whether it's Dyer, Sanchez, whether it's Skip, who's just been thrown into this deep end of the Premier League, right? Straight in. And you look at players like Tanganga, like I said, responding. It's great to see this man management, guys, man. And I really think some clubs you can go in, maybe like Chelsea, you can go in with ego and throw your weight around and it works. We're not that kind of club. We're just not that kind of club, man. We need, like you guys said, human beings to manage this lot like family, like friends. There is a risk of them becoming too friendly. Don't get me wrong. We saw it with AVB. You become too friendly, the players turn on you. So there are going to be times when Nuno's going to have to be hard, but do it privately, not publicly. That's the problem I have with Jose, that he was putting these players out publicly. And I don't know any player that enjoys being put out there publicly, whether it's Luke Shaw, Pogba, Rashford, Ali, Bale, and the list goes on, Toby, whoever it is, right? So, I'm just glad we've got rid of this toxic environment. And maybe because we've come off the back of a toxic environment, these players are responding more because they're more grateful for this fairly fair guy in the dressing room.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that's the case.
The chat is really interesting because, like I said, everybody's buzzing. We're top of the league, but we're just also, to be a top of the league, we're seeing that there's some things that need to be improved. And Spurs says this, and it's the reason why I brought it up. We're crying out for a central attacking midfielder. Tanguy is not that guy, unfortunately. And in this game, like I said, I felt like we needed a proper central attacking midfielder, a proper cam, because the conversation between Ricky, Aaron, and Craig is a good debate. Should Kane should have started? Should Bergvall should have started? Should have been Kane, Lucas, and Son. The Kane didn't look off till maybe the last the 75th minute is when Kane finally woke up. Maybe he should came off the bench. I mean, these are some really good questions. Ricky and Aaron and Craig are bringing up. So I throw it out to the panel. If you look at the comments, should Stevie should started or should have been Lucas? Should it have been the same lineup and Kane come off the bench? Or does it didn't matter because we don't have a central attacking midfielder, which I'm leaning towards. In this type of game or teams that are going to play like this. I'll throw it out to Scott and then we'll go in rotation.
Okay, I was fine. I actually liked the starting three. That's what I would have picked if it was me. I know a lot of people didn't think Kane should start. I think that especially without an attacking midfielder, we struggle so much to create chances that we need Kane out there because he can create something out of nothing. He can take a marginal chance and put it in the net. What I do think, though, is I don't think the 4-3-3 really works for Kane the way we were playing before with Nuno. So
Brian was saying that earlier.
If that's the way he wants to go forward, I think we have to, think about changing things. There was a lot of time in this game that Kane would have the ball and he's looking to cross it into the middle and there's nobody there for him to cross it to, or I would comment he has the ball and there's 4 guys in front of him. I know he can do that role. Like obviously he's probably the guy you want to have the ball in those roles, but I mean ideally then you either need to bring in somebody for him to pass it to score, or else we need preferably to have an attacking mid. So before I get too down on Kane, I wish we could see him with an attacking midfielder to see if that stops him from having to drop back all the time. If then we can kind of see him playing more as a traditional kind of striker role with the ability to drop back and help out, but not having to be the main guy do it.
Josh?
Yeah, I echo that. I mean, if you remember Leicester City when they won the league, they didn't have a Modric or a Fernandes or a dictating midfielder. They had people like Drinkwater. They had Kante doing the defensive stuff. They had Andy King, and they were just direct. They were like bang bang, Vardy Mahrez, and the guy on the left, the winger on the left, who was it? Chilwell was it? I think. And you had players that necessarily weren't great players to dictate the game, but they just got on with it. And sometimes you've got to have a style which might not be as beautiful on the eye, might not have as much of the ball, but you just get the ball in the back of the net. And we did that under Jose. Obviously, Kane used to drop back when he can, but we're missing a Modric. We're missing an Eriksen. We're missing someone that can change up the style and just kind of penetrate the game a bit more with passing and movement. A De Bruyne would be lovely, right? Obviously, these players don't come up often at the kind of money we want to spend. The guy at Lyon that we've been linked with, Hussein Moa. He's a dribbler, he's a passer. But the problem with some of these players is they become a luxury because they don't defend, they don't press, they don't necessarily get stuck in. So you can't have both. You can, but it's very difficult to have a player that can dictate the game in the middle of the park, but then has the ugly side to his game. And the Premier League is so ruthless that if you don't have that creative midfielder that can't defend or doesn't get involved, i.e. Tanguy, then you're better off going with the style we're doing at the moment, which is express football, in and out, and less percentage of ball possession, less ball playing kind of midfielders that can have the technical ability to keep the ball. And, kind of just like I say, if you go back to Leicester, that's how it was when they won the league. I know everyone else was failing around them because obviously United, Chelsea and City were all in transition, but that's a way to win. And we can strive for, we can obsess on more of a controlling style of football, which I would love to see a Modric kind of Eriksen mold player in there. But if it means that these players are a luxury, then I'll stick to what we got. And Tanguy is exactly that. He's a luxury. And we can't afford to be luxurious. We'll take 1-0 for the rest of the season. And maybe in a couple of years, we'll be that team that, passes teams off the pitch. But at the moment, the way I look at Spurs is it's get the job done, Spurs, not necessarily try and be too flamboyant, because we don't have the personnel and I don't think we have the time. And do we even have the money to go and purchase a player like that? So if we haven't got those opportunities to do it that way, I think Nuno will stick with this mid-block, straight down the flanks, into Harry Kane, and try and create opportunities that way, which is what we're doing. We're going down the flanks as much as possible. And so be it. Yeah. So be it. But let's see if we sign a player like that. I can't see anyone coming in and doing a job straight. It's very difficult to find a player that can actually do that in the Premier League that's from another league. So let's see what happens. It's probably one of the most sought-after positions in the Premier League for every team. And the reason for that is because it's also one of the most difficult positions to successfully do as well. Yeah. We got lucky with Modric and Eriksen. I say lucky, they were good recruitment, but Eriksen was brilliant. Everything went through him more or less. Moussa Dembele. But let's hope we can sign one. Dembele was something else. And yeah, sometimes he'd go sideways too often, but in terms of ball retention, you couldn't beat that guy, could you? But that's my opinion, is if you can't have what we want, and I completely agree with what we need, you have to find a plan B, and that's what Nuno's doing, and respect to him because he's getting the job done so far.
Eugene?
And yeah, for me, it's like whether Kane deserved to start or not, right? I felt that actually he doesn't, and most probably would have loved him on the bench and brought him on later. Might have looked at a different game if Mora started instead of Kane. Maybe we would have more speed going down the flanks, right? But there's a weird thing that I feel we're missing, like you were saying, either creative midfielder, attacking midfielder that could help. And like Josh has been saying, luxury players coming in doesn't mean it will help the team if he doesn't want to be part of the team, right? They like what's been happening now under Nuno. Even when we are getting it right, we are giving it back nowadays. Haven't you seen? We got 3 yellow cards. Kane had 1. Was it Kane? Kane, Skip, and Ali, right? And that was all in the first half. So that means we are giving it back now. when last season when we were getting it right, we crumbled, okay, and we were like afraid, and we were run over. This season, right, when we get hit, we hit back harder, right?
And do you
So
know what? And one
uh,
point on that, right? The reason Diane Sanchez look better is because we're not doing what you just said. We're not
yeah,
becoming a low block. So
yeah,
naturally, in the law of averages, if you do something enough, more than enough, something will happen, right? If you,
yeah.
if you put 20 balls in the box, there's a chance. Doesn't matter if it's Colchester away, they will score a header. It could be any team because the law of averages will eventually catch up.
Well, unless you're Arsenal,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah,
they can put cross after cross.
yeah,
And nothing
Yeah.
they can do.
Well,
average position bottom. But that thing you just said there, Eugene, about the low block is not as low as it was when we were
mhm,
75 minutes 1-0 up. Dyer
mhm,
and Sanchez look better because of it. Because
yeah,
they're not getting those bombarded attacks from the opposition. We're giving them space and time to breathe, reset, restructure, and even a break.
Yes.
Biologically, a 5-minute break does to the human body what nothing else can do, right? Because it gives your muscles a chance to reload and the lactic acid clears out and off you go and you can go again. Last year,
mhm,
it was like every team knew get to the 80th minute and pound those guys, pound them because you will get a goal. And we were one of the top teams to lose points from leading positions. The reason
mhm,
was we turned it into a low block. And I'm not down for this low block. Listen, if I'm playing Bayern Munich away, let's low block that shit and get out there with a 1-0 loss and try and do them on the
Smash and
return.
grab. Yeah.
Yeah, smash and grab. But this
Yeah.
is Watford, Crystal Palace, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We got
Yeah.
better players tactically, even the value of our squad outweighs most of these teams that we play against. But we act like we're half the value. So I'm so
mhm,
glad Nuno hasn't retreated and gone.
mhm.
And he must be telling the team, guys, do not go low. Don't do it. It's a natural thing maybe for you to do is to sit back and try and steal that 1-0. But we still kept going and kept the ball in the middle of the pitch, not towards the low block. And that
Yeah.
for me is a big takeaway, man, because I died last year watching us.
Huge.
Listen, we went
Yeah.
top of the league. We went top of the league playing a low block. And remember, we beat City, Chelsea in the cup, Chelsea 0-0. I think Arsenal was at 2-0. Obviously, Southampton and United were freak results because we soon found out after that the goals dried up because teams sussed us out. But that stuff had to change, man. That
Mhm.
style of football had to change, and eventually we got found out. We got found out
Yeah.
when we got to Christmas, and the players were
Yeah.
tired. The players were mentally tired, physically tired, and you can't demand that style of football throughout the whole season, man. You've got to control
Mhm.
games, even if you control them 40%, 45%. But this 25%, 30% controlling games, it's not gonna win us nothing. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that Nuno hasn't.
Mhm.
Nuno's got balls, and he's putting balls
Yeah.
into. And I think
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah, that's why I said our players are hitting back in one thing, right? But of course, like this season, haven't you noticed like when Harry Kane plays, right? Whenever he gets the ball, he's like three players around him. It wasn't like last season, right? When Harry Kane got the ball, he still had
Son.
the time to pick the
Mm,
shot, pass to Son. So now
mm,
Harry Kane's been found out. You
mm.
see, have you not noticed? Harry Kane's been found out. And whenever he plays, he gets the balls. That's why I said Harry Kane might we need a new creative midfielder or attacking midfielder to come in to
Yeah.
take that load off Harry Kane,
Excellent.
so he can be
Yeah.
more forward to do that. So when there are four players, then you have a division of players. So in a day, Harry Kane's been found out. So because he had the most assists, right, last season, he's been found out. So now I think Nuno, why he played him for 90 minutes, number one, I think Nuno knows that the more minutes you put into Harry Kane's feet, right, he will be sharper and sharper and sharper. He just gets sharper along the way.
Yeah.
You know, Harry Kane is very blunt in the beginning of the season, but he just
Mm.
gets sharper along the way. That's it. So that's
Yeah.
why every time when he's sharper, you hope he doesn't get an injury. He gets an injury, he goes back to square one, and then it'll take him to build up again. That's what Harry
Yeah.
Kane is.
And
Okay.
and,
I
So
and
Go ahead,
based off
Craig.
what you said, Eugene, I just wanted to make the argument that this attacking midfielder that we need might already be in our squad, and I
Yeah,
think it could be
true.
Giovanni Lo Celso. I think he just
No,
needs.
Kieran, I think it could be Brian Hill, the young
Brian
boy.
Hill. It,
I think
it
it
could
be
be,
Brian
Yeah.
Hill.
but
I'm looking at Brian
I-
Hill more than Lo Celso because Lo Celso is still, I feel he's a bit lethargic when he plays for us.
I
don't
think
know
he's
why.
not quite fit yet this season. I think that you cannot. I just don't think you can take away a lot of him under Jose Mourinho and say that that is who Giovanni Lo Celso is as a player, because I've seen him play for Betis before he came to Spurs. I've
Yeah.
seen him play for Argentina. He's a better player than he showed at Tottenham Hotspur. I think that has a
Yeah.
lot to do
But
with how
we're
he wasn't.
waiting on him. We're waiting on him. We're
Well, he
waiting on
wasn't.
him.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're only 3 games into the season under Nuno. He was not utilized well or properly under Mourinho.
Fair
You
play.
cannot have you can't have an attacking midfielder, a number 10, truly playing their potential and route one, lump it over the top and run after it football. It's just not going to happen. They don't have the possession. They need to have possession of the ball to be able to create opportunities to make things happen. And if you're playing in a team that has no intention of retaining possession, then you're not going to get to see that creative midfielder play the way they want to, the way they
With
can.
with Argentina, right? Argentina, when you looked at them at Copa America, you look at Lo Celso. The reason is that Lo Celso was able to progress the ball in the middle and really create chances because he had someone else who's doing the same, rather than him be the only guy. Because right now it seems like we're playing with defensive with two CDMs, with Hoiberg and Skip. Now people have said that Hoiberg doesn't have to be a CDM, okay,
He doesn't.
but but I don't know. I'm not a little bit seeing the same Hoiberg who led the assists in the Euros. That now he's not more still progressive press stealing. What that's what you see now. But to go on Eugene's point is that if we have a proper CAM in the middle of the field, even if Kane wanted to drop and have that center attacking midfielder advance, it will create more chances. It will give Kane a chance to be able to create and give more assists. But
Yeah.
because we don't have that threat, when Kane is coming in, and everybody knows, okay, he's going to be looking for wingers, either Sonny or Bergvine or Lucas. That's where it becomes a problem. And you notice when Lucas comes in now, and if he goes in the middle, it's going to help when Kane comes in deep. When he comes into the middle, it's gonna help. But you know, is Luke?
Personally, I think we should abandon that tactic for the most part altogether. I think that's something we should keep in the locker, and Kane should keep in his locker because it's valuable to us. But I don't think that should be one of the focal points of our attack. Our attacking strategy is the Kane drop deep ball over the top to Son. Like we did that all last season. It got found out. Teams know to look for that. That should not be our primary way of attacking the box. I think Kane needs to revert a little bit to more pre-Jose Mourinho Kane and start playing more like a traditional target man. I mean, he's still got the ability to do all the other things, but I think he should look first to be that focal point in the box, get his head on stuff, hold up the ball so that we can bring our midfielders in late and have them take advantage of his ability to hold up the ball because he's one of the best in the world at it. I think we, it's good that he is such a complete striker, but I think we overused that tactic last season. I think we don't want to get stuck on that this season because teams will find it out, even if we have an attacking midfielder. Because if they're just going to run in behind while he's dropping deep, then there's still that space that defenders can clog up between the two. I mean, I think what's better is that if we have an attacking midfielder, Kane can hold up the ball, lay it off to him, and then that player can make the killer pass in behind.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I think that Giovanni Lo Celso can be that player. I mean, I think the problem is, we've played him deep. We've played him as a number 8 a lot. where he has a lot of defensive responsibility, and I just don't understand that, because when we brought him in from Real Betis, he was playing as a number 10, as an advanced number 10 who was getting in the box, who was taking shots, who was moving the ball in and around the box, and we haven't given him the opportunity since he's come to Tottenham Hotspur to truly play that way, except for occasionally under Mourinho when he'd come and sub out for Ndombele in like the 70th minute or whenever Ndombele would be gassed, and then we have to bring on Lo Celso. But even then, like I said, because of the tactics, the way we attacked under Mourinho, he still didn't have enough of the ball to be able to show what he can do. I just don't think that the tactics or the utilization of Giovanni Lo Celso has been correct since he came to Spurs, and I think that a lot of people are down with what he showed. And look, I mean, I agree that, you know, you're a professional footballer, you have to give your best regardless of what the manager's tactics are and carry them out to the best of your ability. I'm not saying that's not true, but I just think that, you know, if we cater to his skill set more, he will produce more for us. And I hope that Nuno tries to do that moving forward.
Yeah. Guys, can I just have a word? Big shout out to Tommy from Tommy Talk Balls. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I said that too fast. Right? He has reached 1,000 subscribers today. So big up to him, right?
Yeah,
right.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
Oh, babe, we gotta
Tommy.
celebrate.
We gotta celebrate.
Just two last questions before we go out. It was reported on the American stream on Peacock that the whole international going out that was for Lo Celso Romero, that they may possibly defy the rule and still go to Argentina, meaning that they're both going to miss. If they do it, they're going to miss the Crystal Palace game and the Chelsea game. How are you feeling about that? Because it was reported yesterday that all Premier League teams were not going to allow their players to go international on red countries, but today on the Peacock stream in America, they were saying that that those two are looking to still go. So, what is your opinion about that? Is it selfish of Lo Celso and Romero, or is it, you know?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I don't want to tell somebody that they can't go play for their country, because I think for a lot of people that means a lot, right? I mean, it's hard for me to say from Canada because our team is terrible, so it's easy to not. But man,
you guys have got some good players at least.
They all play the same position. If we could play like a 5 up front, we'd be okay. If there's some sort of 5 up front formation we could figure out, then we'd be good. But yeah, we're missing. And if we could play without any, we don't have any center backs. But yeah, I don't want to tell them no. And I think it was more, right? It wasn't just them. Wasn't there 4 Argentinians from, I think I read, from the Premier League. So there was more. It wasn't just these 2 guys only from Spurs.
Brazilians
There's a couple
too.
of other guys that were going to go. I think I kind of understand the Premier League coming out with a blanket statement to kind of protect. They take the hit, then it's easier for them to take the hit versus the individual teams. But I don't know. I mean, to me, it's COVID, right? And it sucks that they can't go, but we have to make sacrifices, right? And it makes sense to me. If they go and they come back, and there's a bunch of people that go and get people sick, and then now the Premier League has to look at possibly postponing games. Like that's kind of a nightmare situation for them, right? So I probably won't get too harsh on them, and I guess this is a very vanilla, bland answer, saying that I wish that they wouldn't go, but I'm not gonna really call them out for it too harshly. But I understand the Premier League's position, and I kind of agree with it. They shouldn't be going.
On this matter, I think in the end of the day, right, every player who plays for your country wants to go and play for your country, because it's not how you call something that's small. You're playing for the World Cup qualifications and all that, right? And Peacock, reliable or not, I'm not sure, because this news actually came out 1 day ago, 2 days ago, right? There was already in Twitter that they say they might defy.
Yeah, Peacock is basically the extension of NBC NBC
Yeah,
Sports. So
yeah.
it will come from Robbie
Mm,
Earl and the two Robbies,
mm,
Robbie Earl and Robbie.
mm. No, but
Uh,
this news that they're going to defy the travel
yeah,
ban came up 2 days ago, but now they're letting it out. I'm not sure, but in the end of the day, it's up to Nuno and our club because they don't recommend them going because the Premier League Association or whatever, right, says that whenever they come back, they will have to go into quarantine for 10 days. You see, that is why they don't want the players to
Yeah.
miss the games. Yeah, that's why there's one part that they don't want to play, and then the other part, like Scott is saying, what if you bring back something and the whole thing starts all over again and games have to be like postponed or whatever? It's then most probably the FA will say that if you let your players go, whatever happens is your risk. Okay, if they come back positive and they can't play for another month or 2 months, right? You have to play a youth team. You play a youth team if all of your players are tested positive because of one player coming back. So that's the risk most clubs would not take. But in the end of the day, it depends on Nuno and our board of directors and our great whoever up there
The great
who
and
runs the
powerful
club.
Levy.
The dark lord, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not the Dark Lord. He's the Emperor's assistant.
Yeah, the underling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The minion.
So yeah. So, but whatever it is up to the club. But if you defy it and you get a ban or you get fined or something, then also it's up to the club. But I don't think they will go against the club rules, right? Unless with the authority of the club, then they will go. If not, I don't think they will just sneak away at middle of the night and just hop onto a plane on a private plane, right? And to tell the truth, there are Brazilian players too. For all you know, they might book a private plane. All 6 or 7 of them get on that private plane to go wherever they are. Drop some off at Argentina. Then after that, the plane refuse. Drop some off at
I
Brazil or wherever they're coming from. Yeah. Don't forget Sanchez. Not only Argentinians, Sanchez is Colombian,
Yeah.
so he wants to go back and play too. So that is what you're afraid of, right? And if Sanchez goes and Romero goes, what kind of a defensive backline are we going to put up? That's my scare.
We'll be playing CCV. Cameron Carter Vickers. Oh.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare, right?
I mean, I'm just glad you two fine, reasoned gentlemen answered this question before me, because when Mari said that, I hadn't heard that yet. I hadn't heard that headline, and my first instinct was rage. Like, I was pretty angry, but I do understand the desire to play for your country, and for these Argentinian and Brazilian guys, it's beyond anything. It's
passion.
the most
Yeah.
important thing. It's definitely, they put it before their clubs and their paychecks, and I respect that. Because there's an integrity there. There's tradition, and I do respect that. But at the same time, this is your job. You are under contract. You are paid a lot of money, and the countries that you're wanting to go to are COVID hotbeds. I mean, I think they need to just follow the rules and stay. And and honestly, do Brazil and Argentina really need all their best players to get through World Cup qualification? I don't think they do. I think Brazil and Argentina will make it to the World Cup just fine, regardless if they have to leave some guys in England. I just don't think it's that big of a deal for them. I think they'll walk through it without too much of a problem. When have Brazil and Argentina not qualified for the World Cup? I don't think it's going to start now. And especially when, like, you look at, there are other teams who are having to go without their best players. You look at a team like Egypt, who is having to go without Mo Salah, who is far and away their best player. Not like they don't have another
Yeah.
player on the roster who comes close.
true.
So it's one thing when a team like that has to give up their one guy. It's like, if Wales couldn't play with Gareth Bale, or Aaron Ramsey, it's huge. But like, for Argentina, Brazil, they have massive player pools to pick from. They'll be able to find enough guys to do well enough to get through qualification without a problem. I think they should just stay here, stay in. Oh, well, see, that that's a huge part of it too. If
That's
they're playing
probably the
each
reason
other,
why.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
honestly, Eugene, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. You might be right with that whole private plane. Let's Messi
Yeah.
come in on the plane, pick up all the Argentina guys. Neymar gets his private plane, picks up all the Brazilian lads, and they all go down to South America and say,
Because during the
"F
Olympics,
you, UEFA," you know.
'cause during the Olympics, a couple Brazil players, when Argentina got knocked out, they were talking trash, and then Romero and a couple other players said, Olympics or Copa America, and so
Yeah.
they kind of jab right back. Yeah, oh yeah, Argentina. But I'll tell you this: I'm of Haitian descent. I'm a Haitian American. In the Haitian culture, even the Caribbean culture, people fight over Argentina and Brazil. My dad learned how to play soccer in the '70s by an Argentinian camp that they had in Haiti. The dislike, there's a respect, but a dislike between the two countries that even if they play preseason friendly, I mean it's war between the two. They border each other, kind of. Uruguay's in there, but it is war for these two teams, and so it's like, yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
like
go play.
it's like
Yeah,
England and Scotland.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something
But
like that.
but
It's
two
the
more
best
successful.
international football rivalry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get better than Argentina and Brazil.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if they were to play the World Cup final, it would be the highest rated final ever. And
Yeah.
and then my allegiances, because my dad raised me. I was raised under Maradona, Batistuta,
Yes.
Crespo.
Okay.
I mean, that's who I grew up. Like, my first soccer game to see was 1986. Argentina. They won the World Cup. Then I cried when they lost in '90 to
Yeah.
Germany. I grew up watching international soccer first before
Yeah.
even watching club football, and my dad um, like pulled hard for Argentina,
Mm.
and so that's why I have this Argentina jersey.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
Murray, don't even go to 86, right? 86 was the hand of God time.
the hand of God, yeah, I know. In which my English friends, because I pulled for England too, and they
Yeah.
were just like, the two
Yeah.
countries, they dislike each other. There was a war, of the
Falklands
island,
War. Yeah.
the Falklands
Yeah.
War, and they were like, they're like, that's impossible. And I'm like, no, my heart goes with England and Argentina. I know it's impossible. How do you do it? You know, um, I think if I'll go before we go to our last topic. If England plays Argentina, you know, rest in peace, my dad. He passed away, you know, years ago. Because I've been to England so many times and I almost moved there, I'll probably root for England. Probably root for England more because I have a England jersey, but I grew up on Argentina soccer, and so I know the rivalry.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
And yeah.
it's
Murray, I think
Tommy.
Tommy. Yeah.
Yep.
Big up, Tommy. 1,000
Tommy.
Hey,
subscribers.
Tommy.
Congratulations.
Mari,
Congrats,
Naughty
man.
Panel, big up, and bonjour to the regulars in the chat on the way home from the game. Message me, Tommy. Is there a stateside show? Because I'm all yours, and I'm definitely buzzing. So let me know if there's a stateside show, Tommy. Tommy says, Coys, Arsenal lining up Big Sam. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. No,
Really?
it would actually be an improvement. Arteta in. Please keep Arteta. And big up Tommy says Spurs 72. Saw your Sunny clip, your gold clip today. You were perfect seat for it. Tommy has hit 1,000 subscribers, guys, and so congratulations to him. And
Big
so
up,
for
Tommy.
everybody else, what is your last words about the game, the result, where we are? Who cares where Arsenal is? Nah, we care. They regulation zone. But we're on top. Last words starting from Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I think for me, it's nice to start to feel positive about Spurs again. They're still not perfect in terms of the team, and we still have a few things going on with the transfer window. But it's been so long, and even after the first two games, I didn't quite feel as positive as I do now, and it's just starting to get that feeling back again for me, anyways, about the old Spurs, the way that it was under Poch. Not the playing, but just the feeling around the club, and it's really great to see. I was a little bit skeptical. I have no problem saying I did not want Nuno as our manager at all, and I've really been impressed with it. And I have no problem now, I saying like I was worried about him, but it's been great. The first three games are great. The positivity is great, and it's fun again. It's fun to watch Spurs and not dread it. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
and for me, I also like more or less echo Scott here because I did feel like a bit nervous when we got Nuno. Maybe he wasn't the right character to come in, but prove us wrong, prove me wrong, right? But I don't mind being proved wrong just long we improve, right? Like you said, we play like a team now, right? We fight like a team now. So at least what Nuno has done, as when he came first time for us to do the his first interview when he was appointed, right? He wants to make us proud again, and now we're sitting right at the top. We are proud, okay, and I won't give too much bad banter to Arsenal because I don't want karma to hit us back. We
Come
just
on,
want to give
Eugene. You
positive,
gotta give it to them.
positive energy. Positive. Arsenal know what's wrong with themselves, so let them handle it themselves. So it's their problem, not mine. We are sitting far up there, and I can't even see them down there. Like what you say. If I want to look at the tables on my phone, I have to scroll down, down
Yeah.
to look for Arsenal. So it doesn't matter. Don't even see them near. That's so much better. Keep them as far away from us. I don't care. Right. But in the end, we do need improvements, right? As we saw today, we need more goals. Maybe if when Harry Kane gets up to his speed again, right? I think he needs more games to improve to build up his goal scoring attributes. So the goals will come from Harry Kane, and Sonny has been scoring, so that's a good sign too. So in the end of the day, we're up there, 2 points ahead of the rest of the teams in the Premier League, 19 of them. All right, 2 points ahead of them. So if we can maintain the momentum, it'll be beautiful. Right.
Eugene, when I scroll down that far in the table, my phone gives me an error.
Yes. No, you get a 404, right? Can't be found.
Hey, Mari, I know you said it was an upgrade, and I agree with you. Arteta in, trust the process, but how good would it be? How just would it be to watch the documentary and see Arteta get sacked, and then just see that shot of Big Sam just walking down the tunnel at the Emirates, just.
Yeah.
Oh God! And just the reactions of the fans when they have to. We were talking about Brexit football earlier with Jose.
They
Oh
want
my
him.
God!
They want Big Sam. They want Big Sam.
No. I've heard Arsenal fans say that they can get Conte.
No way.
They're
No
funny.
way.
They're
Come
really, really
on.
funny. They
Yeah.
are funny.
They don't have
Yeah.
the money. They don't have the resolve. They
Then you must
Yeah.
ask whether Conte wants to go there.
Exactly. That's
That's another
pretty much.
question, right? Yeah,
If
Conte wants
Conte
to
doesn't
go
want to
there.
come to
No.
Tottenham, do you think he'll go to Arsenal?
Yeah. No,
Well-
actually, Conte wanted to come to Tottenham. It's just
he
our
wants
great chairman couldn't meet his ambition.
ambition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't want to come.
Yeah.
Kieran, and then we will give it all to Dan. Kieran.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said at the beginning, when I first jumped on, 3 wins to start the season, 3 clean sheets, never been done in our history. You got to give credit to Nuno for what he's done. 3 wins and 3 clean sheets to start the Premier League season. It's fantastic. And, I think there is a lot of improvement to be had, and I think we're on course to see those improvements. Honestly, I really don't have too much to criticize Nuno in terms of what he's doing with the team. I think he's really doing the best he can with what he has available. I think it's just up to Paratici and Daniel Levy to sign them damn checks. just sign the checks, man. And like if we can get those players in, if we can get stuff moving, get Nuno the pieces he needs to work with, I think that maybe a top 4 challenge might be more realistic than we thought. But
A
either
title
way,
challenge.
I said a top 4 challenge.
Oh.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Come
Let's
on.
not get ahead of ourselves here.
Come on, Kieran.
Let's take this one step at a time. All right,
We're top
one
of the
step at a
league.
time. Let's just try and get back into a European
know.
competition that isn't complete banter. But
So
yeah,
we don't
no,
play Inter your mom.
yeah, exactly. Look, hey man, I'm buzzing though. I love it. In Nuno we trust. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs. I'm loving it.
Dan, tell us we're winning the league, baby. Tell us.
No.
Maury, after the game, when the full-time whistle was blown, these are my words. These are the exact words that came out of my mouth. We're top of the league. We're Arsenal. I was like, wait a second. I've said that before.
Last December.
So
Cole came down.
I'm not really gonna say we're gonna win the league until at least January. We're top of the league. Then maybe we could talk about a title challenge if we're top of the league still. But all I have to say is it's positive. It really is positive. Yeah, you can see that that comment there. We're top of the league. You can't really say anything bad about it. Yeah, we could have scored more goals. Yeah, you could have been a little bit more clinical in front of goal. But Nuno doesn't shoot the goals. So Nuno is doing absolutely. Honestly, I am more excited right now what I'm seeing with Nuno Espirito Santos than what I saw from Jose Mourinho when we were top of the league. Because with Jose Mourinho, we had already seen the results where we draw games in the last 10 minutes, draw a game in the last 5 minutes. We haven't conceded a goal. We haven't conceded one goal.
Eric Dyer Sanchez.
It's all Nuno, man. Don't give those guys too much credit. Come on, you know it's only a matter of time before one of them does something stupid and they're out as fast as they came in, and then we'll have Romero in that shiny new number 4 jersey, and things will be better.
Nowadays, right? The thing is that it's not the matter of time they're doing something stupid. They have done it in these 3 games, but one thing is that they had cover.
Absolutely,
they had cover. Even when they lose the ball, there's somebody covering them, you see. And of course, the biggest dumb thing that Dyer did was in the Wolves game, right?
Yeah.
He let Adama go one-on-one on Hugo. But Hugo was the cover. Right? So,
that's true.
Hugo was the cover. So we get the cover, so they don't look so bad, right? But of course, maybe down the line, when they get more tired, that's why I said we need a squad. It has to
United just scored.
Yeah.
We're still top of the league, though.
1-0.
Yeah.
No, I will say what Spurs 72 is thinking. Because I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna have a pint of beer, have a wine. Dan, you have a water or soda or juice. Tomorrow I'll start thinking transfers because, and I know it's a risk because the way Sanchez and Dyer are playing, and Rodon hopefully will be healthy. The rotation of Romero, those 4. If you told me if we needed 2 or 3 signings, I would say a right back to cover Tanganga, because hopefully Aurier is gone, and I just don't like Daughtery. Get a right back. Really, please get a central attacking midfielder. Get him or a right winger. I would actually prefer a CAM. If we get 2, a right back and a CAM, I will be happy. It will be improvement, and I'll still stick to my predictions. If you guys haven't seen my streams, and I had to reiterate it last night on Bob's show, because I said that we will be a team that will fight. I had us win the FA Cup and finish in 4th. I'm not flopping my pick, and I said this in July, pending Kane stays. I'm gonna stick with it, but it will make me feel more comfortable if we got a CAM and a right back as the two. I will concede, though I want another center back, but I will concede. Okay, Dyer, Sanchez are playing good. Romero, Rodon as the rotation. So, um, I like this post by Spurs 72 because that's what I'm looking at now. I'm not because it's unrealistic. We can't sign 4 players or 3, but just two, right back and an attacking midfielder.
We know how late Daniel Levy likes to leave stuff, so
Yeah.
there's a possibility that. For me, though, I think I would honestly, if we get Tomiyasu, that will fill up 2 positions. So I would really, really want Tomiyasu, but I'm
I
not
think
sure
that
what's
should
going
be
on
them.
with him because I haven't seen a rumor to him in months.
Yeah.
I
No,
think-
then he's our mystery signing. He's so mysterious we can't find him.
Oh yeah, the
Do
mystery.
you remember in the
signing.
beginning of the
Yeah.
transfer window when there was a mystery signing? Tottenham have officially signed someone, but it is a mystery who it is. The
Yeah.
Easter egg.
I
Who
think that
is it?
might have been Sar, Pape Majar Sar, might have been that mystery signing. I'm not sure, but I honestly, guys, I don't think a right back is coming in the international window. If we do bring a right back in, which I think is unlikely at this point, it'll be in the domestic window. Probably somebody to come up from the championship.
What about Emerson from Barcelona?
Emerson.
I don't think
I-
Barcelona
I
will
don't-
sell him.
No, because
I
he
don't think
just got to Barcelona this transfer window.
He's not on he's not one of the big wages guys. So I don't know. It seems to me like it doesn't make too much sense. I understand why we would want him, but I don't see why they would move him on.
Let him go.
Imagine
Yeah, I think
Sergio Aurier
Scott's
in the
right.
best team in the world.
My concern
Yeah.
with Tomiyasu is I just feel if we wanted him, we would have got it done by now.
Exactly.
I know
Yeah.
Daniel Levy likes to screw around, but I mean it's 17 million. If you're worried, if you really wanted him, you wouldn't have to worry about the payments, right? We could just give them 17 million, whatever. And so my thinking is that if we're even still on him, it's just because we can't get who we really want, and he might be a last minute kind of thing. But I don't think he'll come in.
Tomiyasu, I think is the payment structure which is blocking it now. I think Bologna wants more upfront. That is the problem. And Levy doesn't have money now. He just sold Sissoko for about 3 million, guys. Only 3 million, not very big amount of money. So maybe he's hoping he could get another 10 million or so from for 10 to 15 million for Aurier. Then that might help to cover the Tomiyasu cost. You see,
I know Levy is Levy, and he's gonna. But I mean, so he has the money. We can spend the money. I mean, he's just. So I just wonder, if he was our number one target, the guy who we felt could come in and start for us, whether that's at left center back next to Romero, or at right back ahead of Tanganga. I just think it would be done. If we really wanted him, it would be done.
I think that's the key, is the fact that Tanganga is not going on loan and is staying. I think that's the reason Tomiyasu is in here. I really don't think it's the money. I think that's bull. It's too small amount of money, even if they want it up front or whatever. Yeah, I don't believe that. We've shelled out 50 million for Romero up front, something we normally would not do. So, even though it's a big need, I think that because Tanganga is staying as where he was originally going to go on loan, according to Tanganga's agent, it wasn't until after the Man City game that they decided he would stay for the season. Apparently, after the game, the agent, Tanganga's agent, called Paratici and was like, "Well, shit, what do we do now? Is he going to Galatasaray? Like, what?" And Paratici was like, "He's staying. We're keeping Jaffet here this season." And I think that's a huge reason why this Tomiyasu deal hasn't happened. I don't think it will happen. I think the last signing is likely to be Adama Traore. If it's not Adama Traore, it's either going to be another center attacking mid or another winger. Personally, I think we need to stop buying wingers. I think we have too many wingers in the squad. It's this weird, bizarre thing that Tottenham have been doing for the last decade of just buying as many wingers as we can possibly. I don't understand what the deal is there, but
maybe they're trying to turn the wingers into different things. Is it? That's why. Convert them.
I think that's part of it. I think it's because wingers are cheaper than number 10s, and so you can get a winger who has more technical skill, more passing ability, and try and convert him to a number 10. I just don't think that's the right way to go. We need We need an attacking midfielder who's also willing to do at least some defensive work, and that should be the focus of, I believe, for the last signing. And we should just put all the money into that instead of 20, 30 million here and then some guys from the championship or something. I think we should just go out big for a big center attacking midfielder. Hassan Mawar would be a perfect choice. So
that's my choice. Well,
but
guys,
doesn't Hassim Owa has got a record of having attitude and all that like Ndombele. So
Well, the one
I
thing
know.
with him, the one thing with him is it seemed like he was upset that he didn't get it transferred to a bigger club. So maybe when he comes to us, then he'll be more happy.
Okay.
Although I don't like a guy that does get upset like that. You know what I mean? Like that shows.
Wait, let's scroll. Let's see if we can find them. Well, where are they? Where are they?
Yes, Dan. Yes.
I can't find them.
I don't see him.
Dan.
I don't see them either.
Well.
Well,
I don't think they're in this league, guys. I can't find them.
Oh, man.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, I see him now.
God.
I see him
so
now.
good. I love it.
Oh,
okay.
Just end the season right now. It's over. Premier League's over. We get the trophy. They're
guys,
gone.
we're only 3 games in, right?
Haven't conceded a
There's
goal.
another 35 more games to go, okay? So I think we better let Murray end the show. If not, it's going to go until 3 a.m.
I gotta eat.
So do I.
Yeah.
Right.
No, Murray,
I've
been sitting on a chair for the past, since, my God, 7:30 my time, 7 p.m. my time. It's already 1:15 a.m. my time now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you must be tired. All right, so we'll start with Scott. Scott, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, I've been mainly in the chats on everybody's YouTube now, starting to get on shows. So hopefully getting on more shows. I was on Eugene's this morning's Persuasion. We were watching the game together. That was a blast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for having me, Mari. Good to get on the stream with you now. Kieran, I think it's the first time, and Dan, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a podcast tomorrow, so if you want to join us, I could send you the link on your Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll see what day's tomorrow. Monday. I should have time, so if I have
it's gonna
time,
be
I'll let you know.
it's usually at 10:15 p.m.
Oh yeah, that works for me because then nighttime
All right.
works. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
All right, Eugene, where can people find you?
Spurs Vision TV. Yeah, this way, yeah. Yep, I do a channel based in Asia, right, Malaysia, and trying to get these Asian Spurs fans to hop on and give their views and be a bridge to the rest of the Spurs fans around the world internationally. And like what Scott was saying, I've been doing nowadays Sundays. If the show's over, if the match overlaps into my show becomes 5 shows in one stream. It starts at 1 p.m. GMT with a preview of Saturday matches. Then it goes into pre-match mode for Spurs. Then it turns into a watch-along. Then it turns into a halftime show. And then it turns into a post-match show. Then after the post-match show, usually I'll hop onto Mari's channel. Right, guys out there, please give a big thumbs up to Mari, right? And please subscribe, right, to Mari's channel, my channel, to Kieran's channel, Spurs After Dark, and of course to Dan's channel, Dan THFC, previously known as the Yit Kids channel, right?
Yeah.
Big up to all you guys. And most probably, I usually do a midweek show too, but that one is most to cater to the India Spurs Spurs fans community. Usually it starts around my time, 9:30 p.m. So in the stateside, it should be about 9:30 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, where you guys are based, right? So if you have time, hop on, right, and meet up with the rest of the Spurs fans around the world, guys. And don't forget, like and subscribe.
All right, Kieran, where can people find you?
Yeah, so after a bit of a hiatus, I moved out to the mountains and I've had internet issues. So, but now we've got our internet going. So I just need to get a nice router to upgrade and get a more secure connection and stuff like that. But Spurs After Dark, formerly Spurs Sick. That's my channel, Spurs After Dark. You can find me on Twitter at the same name. And we're going to start pumping out the content once again. And you'll also be able to find me on Spurswasion TV. You'll be able to find me on which
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
Yeah, Dan,
Yeah.
Dan THFC's channel. Sometimes I like to join for his streams, and now that I'm back in business, we'll be doing it again. And of course, I'll be here on Mari's
Yeah.
streams when he's live. Like and subscribe to all three of these fine gentlemen, these great
Yes.
Spurs fans, these great content creators. Much love to all three of these guys, and thanks for watching, folks.
And formerly the Yig Kid. I'm getting used to calling you Dan, just Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
But the genius that is Dan. Where can people find you?
Well, I've started obviously the new channel. It's a lot better now because I could actually live stream, other than do a live stream on one channel and then have to edit it and post it on the other one. So it's better for the viewers as well because they don't have to look at one stream and then have to go to the other channel to look at it again. So Dan THFC, we've got the Monday stream tomorrow. I'm probably going to be putting out my live match reaction to the goals later on. Because interestingly enough, I turned off all my notifications. I don't know if you guys know, but I was not actually watching the game live.
Oh,
But I turned off all my notifications. I got home and I looked at the recorded version. And I mean, it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
Other
Dan,
than-
forgot. How was your game?
It was good. We won 1-0.
Oh, that's-
Okay.
Oh, okay. Spurs 1-1 you too.
I've actually got a friend calling us 1-0 FC.
I don't mind. If you keep
Hey,
winning 1-0
we
throughout the
can win
season.
1-0. Yeah.
Who
He
cares?
supports
Yeah,
Manchester
you do.
United, so I call him 6-1 FC.
There you go.
Good one, good one. Yeah.
If we can win 1-0 38 times,
I don't
then-
care.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll be Premier League champions, so I'll take
I
it.
don't care. And we'll be undefeated.
Yeah.
100% win
we
record.
Didn't
You
even.
know what I'm saying?
That would surpass
Sure.
Arsenal's invincible season.
That's-
We
Yeah.
never have to
Yeah.
hear about that again. Yeah.
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 Okay,
I'm
Dan.
actually getting improvements to the setup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I like it. I like the background.
Well,
I-
some stuff is gonna stay, but I got some LED lights, but they are not really working too well. So we're
Okay.
gonna fix that for the roof. It's gonna be it. I put them up and then they came out red, so then we threw them away.
Oh yeah. You can't
I'm
have
getting them
that,
white.
man.
I'm getting them white and blue. No, but
Yeah, there you
and I'm also gonna be getting the Spurs 100 jersey. And I'm gonna be putting it there where there that one is.
Yeah.
For now that one's there, but the Spurs 100 jersey is gonna be there. And maybe a few other upgrades to the background. A lot of people like the Baby Yoda there, so I think it's gonna be staying there.
Oh yeah, gotta
but-
keep the baby Yoda.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
might buy
Baby
a
Yoda stay
Spurs jersey and put like Yoda in the back or something.
Oh,
But,
there you go.
Yeah, I
Grogu,
mean-
Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grogu, put Grogu, yeah.
Yeah, but thanks so much for having me, Mari.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always fresher breath fair having you on, and love the work that you're doing. So I'm just buzzing. I can't wait to eat lunch, have a good pint, give a toast, and we're top of the league, baby.
Come on, you
Spurs.
Spurs.
Come on, you
Come on, you
Spurs.
Come on, you
Spurs.
We're Arsenal. Trust the process.
Trust the process. We're on top, baby. We're on top. Enjoy it. Enjoy
Yes,
it.
enjoy it. Yes.
All right. Bye, fam. All
All
right.
right. Good night, good evening,
Good
good
night.
afternoon.
Good evening, and good afternoon.